Thanks for joining us for Profile. I'm Ian Boyne, your host. Often we hear about the negative things which are taking place in our schools, low performance, violence in the schools, criticisms about our teachers' work. Well, Profile likes to focus on the positive, and today we have a positive program from Ascot High School, a school which has been in the news for negative reasons. But the journalism that we practice is one that focuses on the uplifting things that are taking place in our country. And one of the most fascinating programs taking place in a Jamaican school setting is the Students Expressing Truth SET program. The transformational coach and the principal tutor and motivator behind this program, Kevin Wallen, is here with us. Kevin has done significant work among inmates. His own life, which we have profiled on this program, demonstrates the importance of a particular mindset of a positive mental attitudes and the critical role that positive mental attitudes bring about. Well, he has devoted himself to bringing critical truths to different sectors of our population, more particularly those who are inmates and those who are in schools. And the children whom he focuses on are those who tend to be outcasts, those whom the teachers kind of get fed up with. Well, he has been having already some significant results. We have with him also Shericka Allen, Rika Hall, beg your pardon. And she decided that she wanted to be a part of this program. She has grown up in a foster home, and she never knew her parents. She will tell us about how she has managed to navigate things. She's only 15, but when she speaks, you won't believe that she's only 15. We thank you as usual for your company on Profile. Lady and gentlemen, good to have you. Kevin, let's just talk about the main thrust of Students Expressing Truth. What do you aim to achieve through this?
I think the easiest way to say it is balance. I think a lot of our kids struggle with so much. They're unable to balance the lives that they live with the things that are expected of them. We have situations where students are coming out of some of the most horrendous conditions to come to school, and yet they're expected to perform at a particular level. And so the way the system is set up right now, you find that there are so many kids in a classroom, and if a child gets disruptive, there's really no time to figure out why it is that the child is disruptive. The best thing to do is to get that disruptive child out of the room so that the class can continue. Yes. You know, so what we aim to do is we aim to, in a sense, the kids that are considered to be the outcasts, the marginalized, we just want to help them balance. We just want to, help them find whatever it is that they're good at. And in our setting, they're allowed to explore. And it's not just the traditional school stuff that we teach our students. It's talking about life skills. It's a holistic approach. So we're taking a look at life skills. We go to their homes, we get a sense of who it is that they are and where it is that they're coming from. We talk to their teachers, find out what are the issues that they might be having with them. But ultimately, we have to work with these kids for them to understand that the places that they come from it doesn't define them. No, it doesn't define them.
And you essentially want them to take responsibility for their lives, for them not to see themselves as victims, hapless and helpless victims.
But they're not. They're not by any means. I mean, these kids are so rich, they're so wealthy, they're so powerful. If you listen to the things that come out of their mouths. You see, one of the amazing things that happen, is that there's people all over the world telling Jamaica's story. Why don't we teach our own people how to tell their own stories? And when you take a look at our approach, we get a bunch of kids in a room, but not only are we talking to them about how it is that they need to behave, but we're giving them some options. We're teaching them video production, audio production. We're teaching them how it is that they can, just simple things like how they get through the internet. we've linked up with Harvard University.
That's right.
And so we have a class that is conducted on a Thursday with the students, you know, Professor Nesson's students and
At Harvard?
our students at Harvard and our students here
At Ascot?
at Ascot. And they link up via, it's a live web chat. It's a live webcast that we have on a Thursday. And so it's a beautiful exchange. It's a very
Linked up
nice
with the
exchange.
finest Ivy League university in the United States.
I wish I had brought with me the report that the students at Harvard wrote, just saying how much they were privileged to have worked with our students and what it meant to them to have had the opportunity to engage these minds, because these kids are brilliant.
Sure. I see Shericka with one of the computers. You recently donated what, about 30 or so
Yes.
computers.
Professor Nesson,
Very handy.
Professor Nesson through the Berkman Center for Internet and Society, as well as Nicholas Negroponte, who started
From
the
MIT.
one laptop per child from MIT, started the one laptop per child thing, where he thinks that it is necessary for every child to have access to technology. And so he has created this laptop where they're very cost efficient. And he feels that, putting these in the hands of kids and having them figure it out, it's an amazing tool. So this one in particular, it's...
You have mastered it, Shericka?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very tiny. It's an amazing little unit. And the thing about it is that...
And you
all
do a
the
lot of
kids-
things on it.
Very much so.
Yep. All the kids have one, so they take them home, they play with them, and they come back and share what it is that they've learned, what it is that they learned that is new.
So you incite interest in learning. I mean, you give them the tools
Right.
that would fascinate them.
Right.
And then now learning comes effortlessly.
Yeah, because our job is not to try to figure it out for them. I think if every child had access to a computer, you would see the IQ levels are that they would just shoot up, because kids are just fascinated by the technology. They will sit there all day and play a game that's teaching them how to read, teaching them how to spell words,
Yes.
and not get bored.
Good. Shericka, tell us, what has this SET program meant to you, done for you?
It has done a whole lot. It has done a whole lot in terms of allowing me to be myself, allowing me to know what I want to achieve my career goals, and to really realize that I can do it, and that I'm not a failure, and I'm not a worthless child who is coming on this earth.
So it has built up your self-esteem.
Yes,
You feel better about yourself.
yes.
Tell us about some of your issues, and speak to us forthrightly the way you did before you saw all of these intimidating cameras. What are some of the
Okay.
issues you were battling with?
Attention.
You wanted attention.
Needed, so I would do anything to get attention. In terms of one of my ways was to lie. So
Or you would
it's
lie to get
either
attention, yes.
a situation would happen, yeah, but I would add on to more.
You add on to things.
Yeah, so it would cause
Your
a
own
big
fantasy
problem.
world.
Yeah, as they
Yes.
would call it. It would cause a big problem, because sometimes, you get it out of context, and then you're like, ooh, I just got into trouble. So that's where it landed me.
Yes.
And people thought that I was brilliant, but they wanted to stay away from me. But thanks to Kevin and Colleen, they worked with me, and they realized that I can just be myself. If I can just be myself, then I don't need all of these things behind me.
How important are these psychological issues, Shericka? How important it is for us to know ourselves? How important it is for us to know how to think properly?
It is very important, because you have to really know what you want. You have to know how to sort out a problem, how to do a job. As in, you have to go to school before you get a job, right? And you have to be trained to do certain things. Well, you have to know what you really want, in terms of saying that, yes, I have a problem, but am I going to let it get the better of me? Or am I going to get help and really let the help that I've been getting work? Or is either it's going to apply or not? Either or either. And if you allow it to apply, you'll be a better person. If you don't, then you're just wasting the person who's been trying to help you time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a brilliant person who can help you, who you know many things. You're intelligent, you're brilliant, as they would put it, and you know and understand what is going on around you, and they give you their one or two advice, then it
Yes.
will help.
Good. When we come back, we want to talk about the kinds of behavioral changes that you have been making. Shericka Hall is only 15, but she's an excellent demonstration of the innovative Students Expressing Truth program. And the mastermind behind that program, Kevin Wallen, is also here with us. We take our first break on Profile. Welcome back to Profile. There's an innovative program at Ascot High School, Students Expressing Truth, and we're focusing on that program. It's a program which aims at changing attitudes, imparting skills, a variety of skills, but also skills in emotional intelligence, skills in mastering life, in dealing with the many difficulties and obstacles that one has to confront. Kevin Wallen, transformational coach and the mastermind behind the program, is with us, as well as one of the participants in this program, Shericka Hall. Shericka, problems. Children have problems. Children have issues. The issue of teenage pregnancy is a major one in the country. STDs among teenagers is a serious concern. What would be your words to teenagers who are interested in fun, whose hormones are raging, you know, and who want to have sex and fun? And sometimes those things come at the expense of schoolwork. What would you say to them, and how do you yourself manage these issues?
First, I'd say to try and abstain. Abstinence is
People say that's not
possible.
realistic, man.
It is.
It is?
Even though I have experienced a lot of stuff before, but I mean, the boyfriend thing for the young girls is not a big deal. They can wait.
They can wait?
They totally can wait. I've learned that the hard way.
But when you see guys who, you know, look so good and you say, boy, you know, you want to be with them.
It's not all a matter about being with them that counts. It's what comes after. You're in a relationship with a guy. He gets what he wants. He dumps you. He discriminates you in the worst way ever. And then you are left to deal with a psychological problem that comes beyond it. In terms of abstinence, where Jamaicans are saying that can't be done, and other teens are saying, but it is hard. It is hard because, yes, the feelings are there. You're going to see a guy, trust me. I've seen many guys who are totally handsome, and I'm like, wow. Yeah. But I have to control myself because...
How you do that?
I mean, how I do it?
Yeah, what do you tell yourself? Tell me how you talk to yourself.
This is how I say to myself, all right, you have school. You have to think about what you want, my careers, what I want. And I also think about how I want to help my country, because Jamaica means a whole lot to me. As a young lady coming up, I really love my country. And I wouldn't want to fall to the temptation that comes around, because sex is a tempting thing. Curiosity. You're curious, you hear about this big word sex. I wonder what it feels like, what it is like, what do they do? And then in the thing that they say curiosity kills the cat. In the end you get caught. Some don't, some do. And I mean, what I try to do every day, I talk to God. I'm from a Christian background, so I say, God, help me to go on. Help me not to say, see this guy, and as a guy called to me and say, hi, psst, walk on, babes, yeah, all right, give me a number. I yield to them because we can still look at it. I cannot be looking at a guy and saying, all right, he's cute, he's handsome, he loves me, and he doesn't have HIV. Because remember, we can't look by telling. Yeah, you can't. See by telling, pardon me.
Tell
and
by
I mean, you end up with a guy now and he gives you this disease. But you're left alone with a belly.
Yeah, condoms,
99% of the condom works, yeah. It's not 100%, but the condom can break. And during a sexual intercourse for a guy, some of these guys who are urgent to have this sex, they're not going to say, all right, let's pull on and put on. They ain't doing that. They're going to be like, but I almost reaches and so on, and it's fun, even though you're there. But remember,
so there are limits to the condoms?
Limits.
Abstinence is best, you think?
Abstinence is best policy.
So you don't have a boyfriend now?
No. I had one and I had to drop him.
Drop him.
Because I realized where it was heading, and I'm not ready to head down that road because I'm only 15 years old.
But I number, your 15-year-old friends have boyfriends, so?
Yes, a lot of
they
them
are sexually
have
active?
Yes.
So when they're talking about their fun on the weekend, you don't feel left out?
Sometimes, but then I have to remember that, yeah, I kind of feel left out, but it doesn't really make sense. Some of them are saying it because they're not even involved, they're just saying it for fun. And the ones who are truly involved in it, so they're like, I really want to stop because sometimes it's going too far. And then when they're not having boyfriend their age group, is either beyond over 18. Their boyfriend is either 19, 20, going up into that adult category, which can be charged for rape. And I mean, so most of the times they would come to me and they'd be like, Cher, what do I do? My boyfriend is pressuring me for sex like every weekend, what do I? And sometimes I have to look at them and I say to them that, look, you're 15 years old, you don't need to be getting involved in this. And some of them will look at me, how do you abstain? Yes. I mean, after going through what you went through.
Yes.
And I'm like, I learned the hard way, so I have to abstain because abstinence, I don't realize what abstinence means. I don't have to worry if I have a STD. Yes. I don't have to worry if I'm pregnant. Yes. And I don't have to be worrying, oh, is he going to mind the child? Am I going to be discriminated badly in my community? I don't have those things to worry about. Right. What I have to worry about, to get those CXC passes, to become somebody to motivate children, and to become a mentor for other persons. That's what I worry about. So I don't really need to be worrying about the aspect of boyfriend, because when you have a boyfriend, your mind changes literally. It changes a whole lot.
It affects things?
Trust me.
It affects studying and all that?
What?
You can't do both?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, when I had mine, I had to be worrying about him 24/7. I'm like, is he all right? I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is he seeing another girl? Oh, wow. This is what I have to be thinking about. And then when I really look at it and I'm like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? When I really came to my senses, I was like, what am I getting myself into? I have a fantastic home. I have a mom who loves me. I have people who love me. I'm not in a situation where I don't have someone I can talk to. I can call my aunt, I can call somebody. But the only problem I was having is that sometimes they wouldn't see it my way. They see it from their old school. And as we say, most of our parents are from the old school fashion. So we have to try to see with them most times. But I mean, I realized it was just going nowhere. And then he was on the other hand like, yo, made it together for how many years now, and
you're 50. How many? I mean, you started young.
Yes.
But it's a reality. Let's talk about
started
reality.
Very young.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was now saying that, oh, snaps. When I was younger, he held it off. It's like, okay, you're young and thing, and I don't want to get charged. And so, but he didn't know that this age limit for sexual content was 16.
Yes.
He thought it was 15.
Oh.
So he was there thinking, and I'm like, I've been trying to like, it's 16, not 15. He's like, whatever. You're big in body. Nobody not gonna believe say you're 15 or so. And I'm like, cool. But at the time, I was so confused because I didn't know who to believe. And I had my mother on the other hand saying, stay away from boys. No, behind my mother, but my mother did not know I had a boyfriend. She thought I was this sweet angel who was going to school, doing what, but she did not know.
So there are lots of things that we as parents don't know, Kevin. But a lot of people are learning today. Remarkable 15-year-old. She has more to share with us when we come back on Profile. Good. Welcome back. We're focusing on the Students Expressing Truth program at Ascot, but more importantly, on the importance of mental attitudes, the importance of having a certain perspective on life. That's the work we've been doing for 22 years here on Profile. Kevin, one of the things you teach people in the SET program, as well as in correctional institutions, is the importance of self-control, of not reacting to words, not reacting to insults, not reacting, you know, to the brutal things that people can say to us. You must see a lot of people in prison who are there because a man tell them some things.
Yeah. You know, we as Jamaicans, one of the things is that nobody can tell us about our mother.
Yes.
God forbid. And I mean, there's a lot of people who are actually behind bars right now. There are people that are walking around our country with kind of acid burns and all of these things because of disrespect, what people call disrespect. But when you start to really break it down and take a closer look at it, how could something coming out of your mouth affect me in such a way that I am almost willing to give, not even almost, I'm willing to give up my freedom because of a word that comes out of your mouth. So the way I look at it is,
so we should reach the place where no word coming out of anybody's mouth.
Absolutely.
Should bring that reaction to
Absolutely. We need to desensitize words. You know, because right now we live in a country where, you know, there are slew of words that, not even just in the country, in the world, there are slew of words that people consider to be bad words.
Yes, bad words.
You know, and all of these words it triggers a negative response in people, and they feel like you have to defend something. True. You know, next thing, fight go on, you don't know what, one stone might go and somebody end up dead, whatever the case is. Manslaughter in prison for something that could have been avoided. It's a word. True. It's an absolute word. So the way how we teach what we do in the prisons, as well as in the schools, we just kind of put it on the table. You know, let's have a conversation about this. What is it about someone saying this particular word or that particular word to you that has gotten to the point where you got so angry? And so we kind of go through, I mean, it's a process that we do. It takes some time, but we take a look and we dissect all of these different things.
Very important. Shericka, that's an important lesson. Yes. A lot of young people are affected by words. Get depressed or get angry or get by words, but the words said by parent, dissing, yeah.
Dissing thing.
What have you learned about how to deal with words, how to deal with what people say about you?
I have learned that when people criticize you, it's either to make you better, as in to help you to change, or to just leave it alone, because it's not everybody likes you. It's not everybody's gonna like seeing you, so you have to really know what you want. And I mean, it has helped me so much in that when people say negative things about me, from growing up, I got that, so it affected me, so you know that I'm gonna respond to you. But from being in the group, I have learned to just let it slide. You don't let it get to you once you know it's not true.
Let me also say, Ian, that one of the things that we do, we teach these kids that, you know what, go through stuff. Don't be in such a great, you know, people say get over it. I know. Yeah. You know, and all the kind of stuff. We believe in going through it because when you go through it, you deal with it. And then when it comes again, you don't have to worry about it because you've already dealt with it. Absolutely. You know, so these kids are battling some issues that you and I would be amazed. The things that they see on their way to school are things that we've never seen in our years.
Absolutely right.
You know, and then we expect them to come to school and perform.
Okay. You don't know your natural parents.
No.
You grew up in Marigold until you were about 3, and then you were
placed in foster care.
In foster care. How was that affected you? I mean, it has affected a lot of people negatively, but how have you navigated that?
It affected me negatively in terms of growing up. It was fun being a baby growing up, because you know you get spoiled, and I'm the only one. So it never really affected me until a certain age, until I found out. Growing up,
you found out about what age?
11. As around 10, 11.
Your foster mom told you that time that she wasn't your biological mom?
Yeah.
And your reaction?
My reaction was, at first, curiosity took me over.
Yeah.
Because I was wanting to know who my mother is. You know my mother, you have any contacts or whatever. And then she's like, no, I don't know anything about her. I took you from the home, know nothing about you. I'm like, okay, cool. But while she was saying to me that we should not let this, because of this, get between us. But it did.
It did.
Because I changed negatively towards her.
You tried to take it out of your mind?
Yes, but I changed negatively towards her. Saying that you're not my mom, you can't force me to do anything to that. But I have to remember that, you know, from the old school days, my mother was raised up in that if you disrespect me as a mother, you're getting beaten. So in terms of that, I had to be careful of what I said. If I said something, I had to either hide it under my breath or run.
You eventually had to be placed at Glen Hope not too long ago.
Yes.
What that experience did to you, and what have you come away with?
It taught me a whole lot to appreciate what you have. Because Jamaicans have a saying, you don't know when you have something good until you lose it. And when all is being said and done, when Kevin Wallen and other persons came, Colleen Diedrich and the guidance counselor and the nurse from school came and spoke and did everything, made sure I was okay and so on. When all of a sudden the same person who placed me in that institution was the same one who took me out.
Yes.
So I have learned a whole lot. Being there, when I just went there was somebody there from my church. So she didn't know me yet. When she got to know me, she made sure that I did not get lost in the system. I was always on top, because when you go to situations like those, you stay there until like a year before you go court and so on, special cases and so on. And I mean, she made sure that I was okay. She made sure that everything for me went right. I wasn't scared.
So you didn't have to stay long.
Didn't have to stay long. No matter how long I stayed, she came on dorm. If anything was going on, she would make sure that I wasn't involved. And you know, in the homes, you have a whole lot of fights, lesbianism and so on. And I mean, she made sure that I was out of it, seeing that I'm a brilliant young lady. This is not my environment.
How do you see your future?
I see my future as being a child psychologist.
You want to be a child psychologist?
Yes, and to become an author.
You want to write?
Yes.
And the SET program is giving you the kinds of tools
to do that.
Great, good to have had you. Kevin, you'll be back with us next week to talk about some other issues. Kevin Wallen and Shericka Hall talking to us about the Students Expressing Truth program, a transformational program taking place at Ascot High School. Some good things are taking place in the schools. There are people working for transformation. We are featuring those positive persons. Next week, I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant evening.